Tour de Endurance would not be called that without the final elimination race, which makes up event 12 of the 5th season, and the championship battle is really starting to heat up at the top there in what is going to be the most arduous event of the season so far. We have worse events to come for these competitors, but the final elimination race is, to put it bluntly, it is the last marble standing. But first, you've got to get through the heat phases of 2 heats of 8, where the winner will advance, and whoever gets last will be kicked to the curb and will not do anything else for the rest of the event. So it's the goal for the first half of the event is to not come last, or to win if you want to try and get out of it early. But then in the second half, it's just don't come last. And as you can see, the pre-show will just get 1 go on this course for a good bit of fun. Ash rises down to cherry blossoms here, but by now we've seen this event, I believe, 6 separate times across both of the A-League and the B-League, so you should know how it works by now.
Yes, indeed. You really just don't want to finish last. 2nd to 7th in the first heat. It's all going to be the equal. It's all the same result. You're just going to go to the next race. First, we'll go straight to the final, and it will be that way for the heat, and in the final, as Angus said, it is just last marble standing. These marbles really want to conserve their energy, especially in the early heats. Unless you really want and really have a good chance of the victory, you don't want to be expending all of your energy early and get easily eliminated in a later round. But once you get to the final 1v1, that is when you really have to leave it all on the table and do whatever you can to advance to the final. This event has closed out the season multiple times in the past. Of course, here it is just event 12, but that doesn't mean these marbles aren't going to try any less to do well and get the gold here.
Indeed, and I spoke to a few of the coaches before this event today, and they've all agreed that being in Heat 1 is beneficiary. If you can win the first round of Heat 1, you get the longest break between the heats and the final. So winning that first round is very important for both the heats, but especially in Heat 1 because you get to sit on the sidelines and catch your breath. And those who win the later heats are going to be a bit more tired and have less time to rest. So winning early is still beneficiary for these competitors. Even if you don't win, you're not necessarily completely ruined for the rest of the event. And there you see the heats lined up. The Grayscales and Team Sunrise have been seated in separate heats, but it's still so close in that mid-pack. 4th and 12th is separated by just 10 points in the table, so it's a big chance here to gain some ground on those leaders, as Heat 1 lines up first and some big names in here. Sinensis, the winner of this event, and podiumer several times back in Season 3, and Shady of the Grayscales, who is racing with Sinensis again, just like in that Season 3 finale that we all remember all too well, as Heat 1 Round 1 is starting to enter the Orange Finals now, with the Gunther Tunes Marsh coming through first.
Blue Brigade seem to be in the best position early on. Could they be pushing for that early victory here? We'll have to see, but still a long way to go in this first heat alone. Grayscales, meanwhile, down below, but they'll get a few positions ahead of the Citrus Sprinters and the Rosemaries. And the Blue Brigade are now continuing to slip. That advantage early on is completely evaporated as the Grayscales now all of a sudden fighting for the victory. So you can see just how quickly things can change here in this orange funnel section. And now we already have an entrant into the green. It's a much shorter course, of course, than what we see in the Funnel Classic and the Team Funnel Descent. But of course, it has to be with how long this event already gets. But now, all the marbles either in the last orange funnel or in the green. So it's going to be anyone here that could possibly get eliminated first. There's 3 marbles circling, and it's going to be the Crystal Pistols that get eliminated first.
The winners of the last event will not keep that good form going. They are out in the first round of the day and will finish them on the bottom 2 places. As for which one is yet to be determined, Grayscales will not advance. They come through in 5th place. The Green Platoon have positioned themselves very well in the green funnel ahead of this pack as Citrus Sprinters come on through. Chickens and Croissant Crew are fighting for them with the Lagoon Platoon, but they're not going to be able to get around. Perfect positioning by Marsh. They will win the first race of the event and will move on straight to the final in the medal round. But Crystal Pistols, after that fantastic result in the last event, 2nd gold of the season and 3rd medal overall, they cannot keep it going and they will crash out very early here. All the other marbles from 2nd through 6th will move on to round 2 of this first heat, while Marsh goes to sit on the sidelines and waits for their 7 other competitors in the final.
Of course, Marsh has done well in this event in the past. Back in the Season 2 B-League, one of the first instances of the Lagoon Platoon doing well in any event. And here they are in Season 5, already through to the final. Now just 6 marbles in the blocks, and off they go already for the second race here, out of just 4 in this first heat. Blue Brigade will get on through into the orange section first. It's the Croissant Crew who will get the lead here early on, and they're trying to do whatever they can to extend that lead as the other marbles all fight in that first orange funnel. Now Citrus Sprinters drop on through, and they're followed by the Grayscales and the Blue Brigade. It's a 3 split here as everyone is separated by just 1 funnel. Now it's 2 as the Citrus Sprinters drop on through.
It's a very close first few races so far, but I'm starting to say that, the pack spreads out a little bit more. We've got a four-way battle now for at the bottom of the table, as Rosemary's, Parsley, and Blue Jay of the Blue Brigade lead comfortably over the other ones. But now it's time for the battle in the green, just to avoid dangerous contact, and straight away the Grayscales have a poor angle, but I think they will be bumped by someone. Sinensis has given them a bump as Croissant Crew and Chickens joust with each other, pushing back and forth, and the Crazy Chickens reserve comes on through and will be eliminated. These other four, Blue Brigade, Grayscale, Sprinters, and Croissant Crew, I don't know if they'll be able to catch up to this big lead that the Rosemarys have developed. Parsley's going to cruise their way into the final. We've seen Parsley do this already, a big win twice over in the team final descent, and they've done it again in an event where the individual performance matters dramatically, and they're on to the final in Heat 1, Round 2.
And while they circle on, you can see just how excited the Rosemary fans are getting, as their marble is already through to the final after just missing the medals as a team last event in the balance battle. They're hoping to not do that again and get on that podium this time, as Parsley will be our second marble straight into the final. And we have just 4 remain here, as the Crazy Chickens will bow out. The team dead last in the standings. Their reserve can't do much in this event. It's not going to be a bottom 2 result, it will be a bottom 4 result for them. And now just 4 marbles remaining. The marbles are getting more and more exhausted, but you cannot, there's no rest for the wary in this event. You have to advance here, either get the win in this next race or go on and win the final race after this one.
And that 1v1 is grueling due to the lack of contact throughout the 1v1. If you're one of those final 2 marbles remaining, you have to keep yourself up all on your own with just your energy, because there's not enough marbles to push yourself forward and make contact with. As we're down to the final 4 for Heat 1, the Grayscales coming through first and Croissant Crew follow. Sinensis and Blue Jay, again, Blue Brigade have a good lead, but it all faded away in round 1. And they try and maintain it here. They seem to be making contact with the Croissant Crew, and they've come on through 1 final, now 2 finals very quickly, and now fighting with Sinensis at the bottom of the table, as it looks like Grayscales and the Croissant Crew, Shady and Baguette, are looking strong at the top, but Shady does hold the lead now over the Croissant Crew. There's still 2-2 split at the top. It's going to be a close battle for the bottom of the race here, and a close battle for the win. It could be still anyone's race here, but Croissant Crew have a pretty decent gap now.
You can see how the dynamics change as we go further and further in this event. While it's a still close field here, there's a lot less contact than in the earlier heats. And the Grayscales now trying to make that contact with the Citrus Sprinters. They're going to need to make it because they're in the worst position right now. The Grayscales could be out here, but the Blue Brigade are also very close, and so are the Croissant Crew. Everyone is very close here. Who's going to be eliminated? Blue Brigade now all of a sudden look in the worst possible position, but it could be any of them that makes contact and plunges into that hole. Citrus Sprinters seem to be in the best position. Blue Brigade now might be dropping on through, but will it be them?
Yeah, there they go. Blue Brigade were behind the entire pack. Croissant Crew coming through to the 1v1, and who will join them between Sinensis and Shady? It will be Sinensis to beat out the Grayscales. Only just. I've seen that before a couple of years ago. And the Grayscales will move on to the 1v1 with the Croissant Crew, while Citrus Sprinters Sinensis, that was a bit of a shoo-in, I reckon, will move on to the final of the final elimination race. It was bound to happen eventually, but the Blue Brigade come on through 4th place. They are eliminated. They'll finish either 11th or 12th in this event. And there's Sinensis and Shady fighting for it again, but this time it is just to advance to the final, and Sinensis has won that battle again. And now we line up for the 1v1 of Heat 1. This is a simple winner takes all. Winner will advance, the loser will not, between the Croissant Crew and the Grayscales. And they're currently circling the opening yellow final. It looks like the Grayscales have gotten off to the better start, and they absolutely have. They're just circling the Croissant Crew comfortably here, pushing them on through, and have got a comfortable early lead.
Now it's all about your individual funnel run for the Croissant Crew. They need to make that contact, and they've done that, as I've said that. The contact has been made, and Grayscales now look to drop on through first. Now Croissant Crew have to hold on, but they instantly drop on through, and this might be how it goes for the remaining of this 1v1. Will it be just battling in the same funnel throughout? Oh, the Croissant Crew, a mistake there. They now have a full funnel in between them and the Grayscales, but the Grayscales also take that funnel similarly poorly, and now they've gotten back into 2nd place.
This is going to be close all the way to the end. That final 3 is dangerous. Seems to be a tough one to master. As coming into the green final now, the Grayscales coming through first, but only 1 second ahead of the Croissant Crew. This is an important battle for the championship, of course, as the Grayscales are still leading it by 9 points over Team Sunrise. Croissant Crew don't have a great angle, but they will make contact with the Grayscales. This is going to go down to the wire. Croissant Crew look to be in the better position, actually. The Grayscales is getting closer and closer to that horizon. The Croissant Crew's angle isn't a perfect circle, but as I'm saying that, neither is the Grayscales. Getting closer and closer. Shady's in trouble. So is Croissant Crew. It's going to go down to the final roll. The Croissant Crew have made it through, and Grayscales are eliminated in the heats, and another result not in the top half, and a big chance for now a lot of teams to try and make up some ground here. Baguette pushes through to the final, but they will be exhausted after a run like that. Well done to our top 4 for Heat 1. We'll move on to Heat 2 soon.
That contact in the final green funnel, that really shifted the momentum towards the Croissant Crew to be in the better position, and unfortunately for the championship leaders, they are out. Now they're going to watch, especially eyes on Team Sunrise Warmth, to see if they can move on to the final. Grayscales will be hoping that, fingers crossed, that Team Sunrise will be eliminated in these first 4 rounds. But on they go here in Heat 2. White Knights and Cheeseball seem to be in a good position, but it's still early days in this first heat as a couple of marbles all start to peel on through into that orange. White Knights Team Sunrise is one of those marbles up there, but of course with so much contact early on in these rounds, it can really change the momentum very quickly in these early heats.
Indeed, and Prongs of the Marauders, who was one of the first ones to fall through the first funnel, is already into the lead, fighting for the lead now with Wanderer of the Party Crashers, another esteemed competitor in this event. Disorder of Team Mayhem's up there too, as I believe that is Team Sunrise, the first marble into the green. Honeycombs have followed them and now have the cheese balls. It's going to be a close bout down the bottom there between possibly anyone, depending on how the rest of this race goes. Popsicles jump in, they come backwards, and they've sliced Team Sunrise down! They've knocked them straight through, and Team Sunrise are out in the first round of Heat 2.
Oh, and the Grayscales, they will be very pleased with what's like the cheese balls that completely ruined the run of Team Sunrise in this heat. They are going to get a bottom 2 result in this, and now it's a complete slugfest to see who gets the win here. Still can't believe Team Sunrise has completely thrown everything away. All 4 marbles circling through cheese balls. Party Crashers, Honeycombs are done. Popsicles trying to get it. Party Crashers are done. Cheese balls will fall on through, and the Popsicles will get the win. They will go straight to the final. But Team Sunrise, they're going to be kicking themselves. Warmth will get bottom 2 in this event. We'll have to see if that time is good enough for even 1 point here. But the Grayscales, despite not moving on, will still gain even more ground on their closest title rivals here. And what a battle we had for the win here. 4 marbles, really close. It could have been any of them, but the Popsicles did just enough. They will get that benefit of saving energy as they get to sit this one out now.
Of course, Popsicles Slushy. 2 things about them. Not only did they win this event in the B League to close it out last season, win a gold for the team, but also they were just responsible for Team Sunrise's DNF. They smacked into him on a rebound and knocked them out in the first round, so they're going to be rather unpopular for the rest of the event, I can imagine, with the Sunrise fan crowd. But it is the Marauders who take the early lead of round 2 in the heats here, and it's still fairly close, but Team Mayhem, no, so that's the Honeycombs, sorry, the Honeycombs at the bottom, but the White Knights are pushed on through by the Party Crashers into a clear last place, and they're still struggling to get past the Honeycombs as Team Mayhem's Disorder has the lead of the race, and Party Crashers now fighting with them, and now Wanderer takes the lead, but Cheeseballs and White Knights are 2 solid teams. Now Team Mayhem as well. It's going to be a very close battle for last place, as all 6 very briefly are within just 2 funnels of each other. Milk comes on through first, followed by Buzz and Cheddar of Honeycombs and Cheeseballs respectively. Prongs and Wanderer trying to hold their own, and the Orange should avoid that battle for last place, but it could still be anyone here in round 2.
The Honeycombs, a medalist in this event last season, but everyone peels on through here. It could be any of them that gets eliminated here. The Party Crashers were in such a good position up there with the Marauders, but the Party Crashers now be looking to be eliminated. Cheeseballs go into the event horizon, and Cheeseballs will be done. The Cheeseballs, it was a bad moment for them there, and who's going to get the win? White Knights go through, and the Honeycombs, brilliant recovery for them. Business is booming perhaps once again as they're going on to the final.
Straight on to the final in just 2 rounds for Buzz. Silver medalist in Season 4. They just lost out to Larissa of the Neptune Nomads, who's not here this time, so provisionally they could be the number 1 seed on form in this event going into that final. And it was just Milk and Prongs who could just couldn't quite get there to win the race and advance, but still 2 more chances to do it. We got 4 left. Team Mayhem, Party Crashers, White Knights, and the Marauders to try and advance. 2 of these will make it, 2 of them will not. I know White Knights and Marauders are fairly far up there and close enough in that pack, and the Party Crashers actually just joined that pack after a silver in the last event. Team Mayhem, though, they'll need to get a very good result here to try and join that battle for perhaps the podium places, given how close this table is. Wanderer comes on through first, followed by Milk, as Disorder and Prongs takes the early lead here again for the Marauders. Can they hold on to it this time?
From what I've observed commentating this event over the years, the shift from 6 marbles to 4 marbles really decreases a lot the amount of contact you see between these marbles. But look at White Knights and Party Crashers, as I say that, going at it for last place here. They're both trying to do whatever they can to extend their advantage as the White Knights now look to drop on through into that green funnel. They'll drop on through just in time for the Party Crashers to not make contact with them, as it's a big spread now. Marauders look to be in a good position as they make contact with Team Mayhem, but Team Mayhem nonetheless still falls on through. The White Knights have a terrible arc down below. They need that contact and they're not going to get it. The White Knights will be eliminated here.
I think the Party Crashers actually landed on... Oh, speaking of landing on, the Team Mayhem have sliced the Party Crashers upon landing into the green funnel, taking them out of the race, and now it's down to a 1v1 for whoever advances between Prongs and Disorder. I was going to say the White Knights, I think the Party Crashers grazed them as they entered the green funnel, and it threw off their angle, and that ruined the rest of their race. But look at the two angles here. They're both circling in very awkward positions. This is going to make for some strange contact. Very shortly, Prongs bounces on the back of Disorder, and now they're starting jostling back and forth, not letting go of each other. It's starting to fall apart for the Marauders, and they've come on through. Team Mayhem have won it, and they will move on to the final. And look at this for a grudge match. Prongs of the Marauders and Prongs of the Marauders and Wander of the Party Crashers for a 1v1 in round 4 of Heat 2. That is going to decide our final spot in the final, as Disorder takes up spot 7.
I'm sure Disorder will be very happy to not have to face one of those two champions in that final match, as the Marauders, they had an elliptical orbit, both of them, and the Disorder did manage to just do enough here, as Prongs will have to go straight back into the blocks along with Wanderer here. Two champions of Tour de Endurance fighting here to get that final spot in the finals. Who'll get the better getaway? Looks like Wanderer will drop on through first. We've seen how close these 1v1s can be, and actually Wanderer will take the lead briefly, but they drop on through just after Prongs, and now they're both circling in the same funnel here. It might go this way for the entirety of this heat. Prongs will shove aside Wanderer. They now take the lead.
Is a critical funnel in the next one. Funnel 3. How will the third orange funnel? How will these marbles tackle it? It was a trouble for those in Heat 1 in the 1v1, but Wanderer tackles it perfectly and has a good angle over the Marauders, who come on through and take advantage fully. They've thrown Wanderer straight on through, and now they've got a huge gap over the Party Crashers. Marauders a full funnel clear, and a good angle in funnel 4 will keep them ahead of the Party Crashers almost by a full funnel, I think, going into the green, but their angle does start to slip a little bit, and then now they're a full funnel ahead. They have to maintain this as best they can. I think they should be able to just hold this one out as Party Crashers dance around that gap, trying to hold out as long as they can to try and advance. Finally, Prongs comes on through. Can Wanderer make a comeback here? But it's not looking likely.
Every second they've circled in that orange funnel is allowing Prongs to avoid the contact here. Oh, will they avoid the contact? Wanderer is doing anything they can to hold on for just one more second, and they've made that contact. Prongs might fall on through here. They've just about made it, and Prongs will fall on through. That one window of opportunity was taken with open arms by the Party Crashers, and they're going on to the final. Masterful by Wanderer here.
Oh my word, that was unbelievable. Just used the event horizon, jumped around to get back against the Marauders, and it gets Wanderer through to the final. The Marauders, who are in third place coming into this event, the fans can not believe it. Camera's shaking, it's so violent in those stands, but Prongs gets 9th place overall, does beat out the Grayscales to get 10th, but they all gained 6 whole points on Team Sunrise, bringing that gap back up to around 15 points. And now it's just about how close these other teams can do in trying to close that gap to the overall leaders, with Citrus Sprinters down to Lagoon Platoon. Everyone who's won a race so far, it's now just fighting for not getting last. Winning no longer matters. Just don't come through that funnel first, and you will keep going and keep gunning for a medal. As we start the first round of the final, Honeycombs and Cheeseballs are the first two to plunge on through into the oranges, and it looks like Party Crashers and Lagoon Platoon are doing well to avoid that fate in the first round.
And the Party Crashers, despite being in the latest battle in the last heat, they have the early lead, but of course it all goes to none in the orange funnels here, as Rosemary's already in the final orange funnel before they drop onto the green. They have that contact there, but I think that's the Honeycombs that will go down into the green funnel first, and they're going to be hoping for more marbles to peel on through for them to make contact. Rosemary's will join them. I think they are close enough where they will collide, and there's 3 marbles in that final orange funnel that could all make things difficult for those final advancement positions and the final elimination position, as Wanderer continues to extend their advantage. Of course, winning doesn't really matter much in this final here in these early heats, but who's going to drop on through? Honeycombs almost well on through, but Popsicles will drop on, and they will be in 8th place here.
and that is the first determined. Slushy, of course, the winner of Heat 2 Round 1, had a bit of a break, but just, I think the Honeycombs, they got jumped on by the Citrus Sprinters, and it threw them almost straight into the gap, but they're able to avoid it. Very close calls there, twice in a row for the Honeycombs, and ends up nudging the Popsicles on through, and Slushy, the reserve, is eliminated first. We're down to 7 now, fighting for these positions, and Team Mayhem, a good slow start. You want to be doing that at the early part of the course. Now it's just down to, of course, down to 7. It's still all about not getting last. Croissant Crew come on through first. It'll be Honeycombs will be buzzing, of course, after getting so close in that last event, in that last round, and they will keep going very luckily, I imagine. Lagoon Platoon and Citrus Sprinters up to a very good start, holding strong in the yellow as they come. Everyone's in the orange now, and it is the Honeycombs again toward the bottom, but Team Mayhem have joined them, as have the Lagoon Platoon and Croissant Crew. It's a very close battle here again for last place.
Yeah, it was very tight so far, but now it spreads out a bit, and now it all closes up once again, and now it spreads out once again. Everyone is separated by 3 funnels right now, as Honeycombs is looking to drop on through. Can they make contact with Team Mayhem here? I don't think they will, and Honeycombs will drop on through, and it's an awkward angle for them, very elliptical for them, but so is the case for, is that Lagoon Platoon, or is that Team Mayhem? And everyone seems to drop on through now. There's just 2 marbles left in that orange funnel. Party Crashers will drop on. That's, I think, 6 marbles, all gunning for not last place here. Citrus Sprinters will be the final marble there. Everyone's in the green funnel. Croissant Crew look very close, but will they make that contact here? Now Citrus Sprinters looking very close to the event horizon, as are the Party Crashers. Citrus Sprinters, no, the Croissant Crew. They had a scare there, got saved for a little bit, and then fell on through once again, and Baguette will get 7th place in this event.
After their heroics in the heats, it cannot go much further than that for the Croissant Crew. 7th place, not a bad result at all for Baguette, who's usually standard in the Funnel Classic rather than the Elimination. So that's a very good run by the Croissant Crew, as we're down to our final 6 double-digit point finishes and above now. So you want to, of course, going to go even further. Just 3 more rounds, and you'd be in a medal position if you stay alive. Rosemary's are close to that center, and they come on through first. Everyone else taking their time, but again, the Citrus Sprinters and the Party Crashers so far have been very consistent at avoiding danger, although Sprinters and Crashers were involved in that battle with the Croissant Crew. There was 3 of them all together fighting for that last place spot, but Croissant Crew ended up falling it through. And it's currently Lagoon Platoon in the most trouble. Team Mayhem and Rosemary's fighting up to avoid that danger, but they're a full funnel clear of Lagoon Platoon so far, who really need to get going here.
Yeah, there's a full funnel in between them. Lagoon Platoon will hold on for Team Mayhem to go in the funnel above them, but Lagoon Platoon instantly drops on through, and Marsh needs to really hold on for a long time now in that green funnel and hope that Team Mayhem and the Rosemary's can join them in that final green funnel. Team Mayhem will drop on through, and they have an elliptical orbit. Is this the lifeline that Marsh can get, perhaps? Also, Rosemary's very close now. I think they will make contact with Lagoon Platoon, and yes, there's the contact there, as the other 3 marbles are all going to drop on through in the green funnel once again. So, it's going to be very close once again. Perhaps between all the marbles of the Rosemary's, it's too little too late for them. That contact really killed their run, as they are going to be out in 6th place here. Parsley, great run in the heats, not to be in this final.
Perhaps exerted too much energy in the heats. Where did it all go wrong? And there's too much vibrations in the course as the sign comes off. I imagine that'll be fixed as we watch these replays. But look at this. Parsley tries to do what Wanderer did in the heats to use the event horizon, but the Citrus Sprinters but Marsh and Sinensis had formed a bit of a barricade, and that stopped Parsley in their tracks, and they were gone from there. And the sign has been replaced on the bottom of the course to avoid that from happening again, and potentially distracting the racers and the commentators, as we're down to our top 5 confirmed now. Sinensis, Disorder, Marsh, Wanderer, and Buzz. Only 2 of these will miss out on the podium, and this will be one of those critical races to determine it. And again, Sinensis and Wanderer have made it extremely far. Buzz has gone pretty far too. Only Disorder here has not really done this event before, but you wouldn't know it because they're fighting for first place now in this race, and they've taken it, as Buzz is the only marble currently in a clear last place and can only hold it as Lagoon Platoon does not come down quickly enough. Will this bode poorly for Buzz going forward? We'll have to see how this race holds. It's still pretty close and early stages.
And that early advantage for Disorder has completely evaporated here. They're battling with Buzz in that second to last orange funnel, and now a couple of them fall on through. Buzz actually holding on. That's Team Mayhem and the Citrus Sprinters and Lagoon Platoon, all very close to dropping on through into the green funnel. Party Crashers, the only one not in the second to last orange funnel, and they're hoping to keep that advantage here and hope to avoid that contact, and they do. Party Crashers now in a great position to avoid that melee in the green funnel, while Citrus Sprinters look to be in the worst position right now, but they might make contact with Lagoon Platoon, or maybe Lagoon Platoon is actually in the worst position because they have a very elliptical orbit. And now Party Crashers have joined the fray. It could be any of these 5 once again that gets eliminated here. Buzz, actually now, very close to the event horizon. They make contact with the Citrus Sprinters. Now Sinensis looks very close down, and they will go through. Party Crashers in second to last there. They just managed to avoid it after such a good run in the orange, but Sinensis cannot repeat what they did back in Season 3. They will only get 5th place in this event. Still respectable for them, but they'd be hoping for more as a past winner of this event.
Past winner and also 3-time medalist. That is the first time Sinensis has ever missed the podium in the final elimination race, as a special guest turns up for the final few rounds. Blossom is going to watch along for the final 3 races of this event. We're down to just 4. One of these, this race is important. This determines who misses the podium between Wanderer, Marsh, Buzz, and Disorder. Wanderer, of course, was the closest marvel to losing out there to the Citrus Sprinters, and they come on through in 3rd place as Disorder again takes the early lead, but it faded away so fast last race, but it's looking much stronger this time. There's a clear battle for 3rd place. Wanderer has fallen on through first and now has bottom, but Disorder has fallen back and is now almost losing the lead to Marsh, but now it's a 4-way race. They're only separated by 3. As I say that, the Honeycombs have come on through. They're already into final 4 of the orange. It's not looking good for them, but Lagoon Platoon, and who are saved by Team Mayhem actually, this is looking like a Honeycombs loss so far. So Lagoon Platoon completely, and commentators curse at its finest. They've fallen straight into the green and now look to be in a lot of trouble. They need that contact from the Honeycombs, which they do get. Crashes and Team Mayhem look pretty good right now.
Yeah, those two, if they can hold on to that final orange, they can avoid that contact down below, as it's very elliptical orbits for both teams down below. It seems like it'll be one of them, as Team Mayhem does join them, though. If they make that contact, it could be Team Mayhem that gets out, could be Party Crashers that goes out. They all are there now, and the contact is made now. Team Mayhem and Lagoon Platoon and the Honeycombs have a lifeline, as the Party Crashers now look to be in the worst position right now, and some contact pushed us into the hole. Wanderer cannot get a medal here once again, and the Party Crashers after a medal in the last event. It cannot be 2 in a row, but still 4th place, very respectable from a funnel giant here in Tour de Endurance. And we have our podium set: the Lagoon Platoon, Team Mayhem, and the Honeycombs. Honeycombs did it last season in Season 4. They've repeated the podium, but can they get on that top step?
Good lord, that was quite the choke by Wanderer. They had the comfortable lead and they just jumped into the green. They could not avoid all the contact in the green funnel, and the elliptical orbits actually worked out very well for Mayhem and Lagoon Platoon, as they allowed themselves to launch into the Party Crashers at an odd angle, and it really threw them off, and it's made a big pack, and Wanderer at the back of it sent him down, and they are missing the podium here, but still a good run. Party Crashers finally finding some form in this season, as we're down to our final 3. Lagoon Platoon was the last to come on through, but it's a very close battle so far, as Marsh now goes down into a comfortable 3rd place, but this is still, it looks almost like a 1v1 here, because all are so close together. Marsh does get that 3rd funnel well enough to hold themselves, but Team Mayhem push them on through, and then the Honeycombs, who have a pretty good lead so far. Now everyone's spread apart. Honeycombs, Team Mayhem, and Lagoon Platoon in that order, all separated by a funnel. Will Lagoon Platoon be able to bring it back? Mayhem do come on through and give them a push. Honeycombs now a full funnel clear and keeping it clean. It looks like it'll be between the bottom 2, but you just never know. That green funnel has been such a danger in this event so far today.
Also remember, this is not the final race. There will be a 1v1 after this, so this is just to determine the bronze, and Honeycombs right now look to be in the best position to advance straight onto the final. Team Mayhem looked dangerously close with that elliptical orbit, but now almost get jumped on by the Honeycombs, and now it could be all 3 of them that gets on through for the bronze medal. Team Mayhem, though, needs some of that contact. They seem to be first poised to drop on through first, as Lagoon Platoon might be making that contact any second now. Can Team Mayhem hold on? The contact is made. Marsh will fall on through, and Lagoon Platoon will capture only bronze in this event. Team Mayhem did just enough to make sure they made contact there, and they are going to have a 1v1 with Buzz of the Honeycombs, a repeat top 2 medalist in this event from last season.
Disorder has taken Larissa's place for Buzz. It is now down to the gold medalist Lagoon Platoon. That's their 5th medal of these games, a 4th bronze. They've done pretty well so far. They'll jump back up into the order after their goose egg in event 11, but that is a great result by Marsh, who typically does well in these funnel events. Finally back in action, as the Honeycombs and Mayhem seated next to each other in the stands, as Blossom watches along for the final race of this event. Buzz versus Disorder. Can Buzz do one better, or Disorder again beat Buzz to that gold medal spot as they start the final race? And it looks like Buzz has the earlier advantage over Disorder. It's going to be all about when they get real close, they'll start pushing and shoving each other, and Disorder has been pushed on through by Buzz, who's got the early lead here.
Now it's all about individual running for Buzz. Can they avoid that contact here? They cannot. Buzz will be joined. The Disorder will be joined by Buzz in that first orange funnel, and now this could be where it goes for the entirety of this heat, of this 1v1 for the gold here. Buzz now looks to drop on through, but no, they get pushed aside once again by Disorder, and Disorder now drops on through. That third funnel really seems to be hard to keep spinning in for a long time, but Buzz right now doing a brilliant job. This could be what wins them the gold here.
They're clear cut ahead of Team Mayhem now. They're coming through into the green funnel, and they do not have a perfect entry. It's an elliptical orbit to start, but can they keep it clean around and try and regain that composure to keep themselves in this race? Honeycombs, we've seen bigger comebacks happen in this event so far today, but it looks like they're pretty clear in front. They just got to avoid that contact with Team Mayhem, keep themselves wide and away, and they will come home with the gold medal. Buzz will do the one step further. Disorder has avoided it once, and he's going to keep going around. Buzz will miss him one more time. Mayhem goes around the event horizon, and Disorder comes on through for the silver. Buzz has done it. 2 podiums in a row. This time it is gold. Congratulations to the Honeycombs. 2 golds in 4 events. They're really putting their names in the hat to go for a podium, or maybe even charge for the title with the struggling Grayscales and Sunrise in this event.
What a run for the Honeycombs. Their second gold medal of these games, and they are in a brilliant spot to make that title charge with how well they've done here. Gold in the obstacle race, and Buzz will do one better than what they did last season with the gold in the funnel elimination race. With just 4 events to go, time is running out to make that charge, but Buzz of the Honeycombs is doing the best effort here. Great job by Disorder of Team Mayhem too. They will rise up the standings, which is something they haven't done much in the season. And Lagoon Platoon, another medal for them. Great job by them.
As the Honeycombs jump 6 spots up into 3rd place, now 19 points behind Grayscales, but the gap between them and Sunrise is up to 15, but there is now 4 teams within that gold medal range of the Grayscales. It is still heating up at the top, with the close pack in the middle still persistent in the later parts of this season. We'll return to the A-League in a week's time, but first we go back to the B-League for their run at the balance battle.